Today, Precarious plays
Hades. I didn't finish talking about the way certain boons interact with certain weapons, did I?
I don't think so.
I think might be what I was talking about before. We had a near critical error. So, the shield series of aspects is pretty interesting because across all of them, you can make pretty good use of a lot of different boons, especially once you... It's impossible to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm like, I've got something cognizant and understandable to say, and then it's like, nope, that is not true, because it's a rabbit hole that leads to additional rabbit... There are turtles. Why are there so many turtles?
Oh my god.
There are... It's rabbit holes and turtles alternatingly all the way down, is my point. Does that make sense? No?
No, but
course
that's
not.
because it's a rabbit hole turtle.
Yeah.
It's a turtle hole. Do turtles dig holes? Yeah, sometimes they do.
Yeah, on beaches.
Yeah.
That's where little baby
For
turtles go.
eggs. Yeah. Gotta put the egg somewhere.
So, what's the point? Is there a point? The point is that I was going to say that the basic attack isn't usually so great for... It's a little too wimpy to be great for a lot of boons, but then I remembered that there's a hammer upgrade that makes it to where you can swing twice at the cost of losing the knockback effect.
Yeah.
And then there's the Beowulf aspect where you trade your ability to swing rapidly for one big shield slam.
Yeah.
So it can do just fine with big hit boons and stuff like Dionysus's basic attack. You can stack up debuffs, right? Like, did I think I might have picked it up? Is that what I got here? Hold on. So Frost Strike, your attack is a little stronger and it inflicts chill. And I think the hammer upgrade I got, yeah. So Pulverizing Blow, your attack hits twice but does not knock foes away. So every time you can just barely make it out, there are two little frost trails in rapid succession.
Yeah.
If I can find Demeter again, I can get an ability or a boon from her where whenever I get to 10 stacks of chill, it deals a burst of damage and then removes all of the stacks. And you can see how quickly I could do this 5 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Very quickly.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. It's a good build.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
Speaking of builds, you've gone through this game over 60 times now. Are there any, describe to me, some magic runs that you've had?
Oh, that is that's, you know what? I wish that we were not recording this for a show right now because I've got the answer, but I think it would screw with the capture.
Everything's so green.
Yeah?
Because
What do you mean?
if I was really happy with how a build, with how a run would come out, I'll show you in just a second. You can queue up at the results screen. You can queue up boons, up to 5 or 6 of them, I think.
Yeah.
And I would do that, and then I would take a screenshot of it. So I essentially have winning formulas.
Oh, so you
saved.
Okay.
But it's in my Steam screenshots.
Yeah.
I think I can also see winning runs from the administration room.
Well, maybe you can pull that for Bale to use in some editing or something.
Well, the problem is that I did that so I wouldn't have to remember them.
Oh, okay. So you're
so that's the issue.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hammer. Breaching Rush is not bad. That one next 2 attacks. Ooh, I wonder if that applies to... You know what? Because it hits continuously, I'm gonna gamble on that one, even though I know Breaching Rush is good. Just because I'm gonna see how this interaction works.
Yeah. So... the first run we did recording, you used the Trident. The second you
Bident.
or the Bident, we used Excalibur the next one.
Yes.
And right now you're using this...
The Shield of Chaos.
Oh, okay.
And this is the Zeus aspect.
Okay. So... and then there's also... what are the other ones? There's like 2 more, aren't there?
There are a total of 6 weapons.
Okay, so there are 3 more. Do you have a favorite?
Yes.
Okay, what's your favorite?
The Adamant Rail. The gun.
Oh. The gun?
Yeah, I love the gun.
Boo.
No, it's good.
I'm sure it's great.
The gun suits my temperament because it's a little on the slow side. Like my runs with the gun aren't especially fast, but I always feel safe. Whenever it was time to try to get like the Skelly statue the first time,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm taking the Adamant Rail and I'm just gonna go at my own pace and I'm gonna win. And I did. It was like, it's funny because I'm pretty sure that 8 is the level of heat you need to get that first statue. So now I'm just doing it just whatever.
Yeah, on the regular.
Yeah. With any weapon, but it did bring me great comfort going into that first like hyper elevated situation, because I went from like 3 to 8, you know.
Do you feel like any
Yes.
of,
I'll take this one.
like, besides it being your favorite, do you feel like it's your favorite because of who you are, or do you feel like it's your favorite because it's just the best one?
I doubt that it's the best one, because my fastest runs, and after a certain point, it is kind of like every run is a speed run,
Right.
You know? After a certain point, you really start to care a lot about speed, and I will consistently have runs that I think like, that went pretty well. I mean, I didn't eat shit and die, so
Yeah.
it's all right, that run. With the punchy gloves,
Yeah.
which I am embarrassed to say that I can't remember their proper title.
Yeah.
No, I can only remember like the aspects, because there's the aspect of Demeter and there's the aspect of Gilgamesh, I think, and then no, letting things get out of hand. The point is that I will use the punchy gloves and think that went okay, and then realize that I just broke a land speed record.
Oh, okay.
Like all of my fastest runs are with the punchy glove, and I don't know why. I think that it must just be a do or die weapon that either you implode or you get it, you just get things done super fast.
Yeah. So do you feel like the weapons and everything are pretty well balanced in this game? Like, does it feel like a real choice, or does it feel like a game of figuring out which one's the best one?
Do I care about that? I'm not making effective use of my cast right now anyway. This is not my favorite dash, but I guess I'll get it now because maybe I can run into Athena later and have a better version. Sorry, what was your question?
my question is, do you feel...
No, fishing point! Damn it! I hate when I miss those. I couldn't hear the noise. A helpful little tone plays if there's something like a fishing point in a room.
Where you can actually fish because Zagreus likes fishing.
Yeah. He's a handsome young man. Handsome
he grew
young
up
men
next to a
love
river.
fishing.
Right?
Yeah. He's basically from a seaside town.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I trampled over your question again. What? What?
Let me
Words?
go. I dropped it. You kind of slapped it out of my hand. Like, imagine me like holding like a slice of pie, and then you just like slap it out of my hand. You're like, I have something to tell you.
Fish!
Fish, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, cool.
I mean, the pie wasn't for me, so it's not my pie you just ruined. Let me find this pie. What was I talking about?
What were any of us talking about, really? What are words? What is conversation?
Oh, I was asking if you felt that the weapons were well balanced with each other. Like, do they feel like a real choice, or does it feel like picking different colors, or does it feel like finding something that is like better or worse?
If there is a best, I have not discovered it because the game is very good at encouraging you to use them all anyway.
Mm-hmm. So you have your favorites, but you don't feel like the favorites are because the other ones don't work well.
Right. I think that for a long time, like I mentioned before, I didn't like the sword.
Yeah.
The Stygian blade.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so guilty because I can remember like the names of the core weapon and like the name of the aspects of so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've forgotten the name of the gloves.
I'm just like,
Stranger.
Oh, cool. So he's just upright and cool now.
Achilles has returned
Awesome.
to work for now, but waiting for him, knowing he'll return, rather than waiting for the sake of it, for nothing. Such a different feeling, stranger. I'd forgotten it entirely, I think.
I'm happy for the both of
two.
you. So, is everything all right then? The circumstances under which you were separated in life. It's unimaginable, really. How does one move on from a thing like that?
Anger fades, I guess, stranger. Even the famous anger of Achilles. Anger burns hot, then burns out. What's left is a dull ache, but underneath it, there was something else. It felt as though, well, I was still alive. That feeling, it's worth holding on to.
I like their story.
Ooh, I don't think I've been doing great this run, so I think I'm gonna go for even more HP. So Stygian blade, not my favorite. I really liked the shield the first time I used it because I felt safe using it, but it did kind of fall by the wayside as I got like the two ranged weapons. The bow makes my hand cramp, which I think I described maybe in a different series. How just holding it's a charge and release weapon, and that's been eased a little bit by some of the weapon aspects where you can how to describe it. Basically, you mark an enemy and then shoot them with the special, which I find to be a little more physically comfortable. It's worrying me how that's becoming like an increasing consideration for me as I get older. Not a great sign, because I swear I'm not that old yet, but I mean, to be frank, I play so many games that I get beaten up in a physical sense from playing them sometimes. Like I've played enough Civ 6 recently that I've got like a shoulder thing Got like a shoulder pain.
I have... So, as we've been playing through this today, I've kind of
Can catch my breath.
gotten comfortable in this realm here.
Well now, young sprout. You've met the so-called King of the Olympians, and I. Whom do you now suppose is genuinely ruler of this snow-encrusted mountaintop of ours?
Oh, ha ha ha, Lady Demeter. Your wit is just as dry as the earth lying quite fallow in your care. Perhaps you should go tend to that again. Though, let's we go ahead and help our young man first.
See, this is the kind of thing that I... Like, is this it? Is this the trigger? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's a real shame that I don't think I have... I don't think I have enough lightning powers anymore to make use of that boon. I think I traded
that cold
away.
fusion boon.
Yeah. Like, I still have static discharge, so I could try to get Zeus's again. But I think I'm just gonna skip it and write off static discharge completely and go for a killing freeze, because it is it's pretty good. Killing freeze is pretty good.
Very cool.
So,
Too bad I can't bottle this stuff.
I've gotten comfortable with this world, and I'm starting to take it for granted. But I just wanted to go back for a second and think about this game in comparison to Transistor.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like... My first inclination is to say it's surprising how great this is in the face of that other game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really. It just feels like it's finished.
Delicious.
You know what I mean? Have you ever seen those examples of, like, the same drawing, but people do different copies of the same drawing with different lengths of time available to them?
Yes.
He's here, King. Activating armor. It's fortunate repairs in your chariot were completed in time.
Nonsense, my friend. We could defeat this vile hellspawn with or without the additional divine protection we've been granted here. Get him!
Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying, it feels like this is the longest development time option. It might not be. It might be just that they learned the important lessons from Transistor and the other games they produced, like Bastion.
Ooh, I should... You know what? I meant to bring that up earlier.
Yeah.
Thinking about, like, the best game that I've played this year, and
Yeah.
how... I usually don't care when I play a game, if it's good. If it's
Yeah.
good, it's good.
Yeah.
So... I would totally stack Minish Cap up against this game.
Really?
Yeah, just because I played it this year. It doesn't matter how old it is, because
But you didn't,
didn't.
though.
what do you mean?
I play Minish.
Yeah, but I've been playing it too, just not when we record. I haven't played past you.
Oh, okay.
So what? So
Well, then why haven't you beaten Spider-Man?
Because Minish Cap is a lot of fun to just go play.
Have you played Spider-Man?
Yes?
Spider-Man is more fun than Minish Cap.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's not. Listen, your nonsense is making me... I'm chuffing this. Is that a phrase? Is that...
No. I mean, being chuffed is like a good thing.
I keep forgetting to use my basic attack, which is empowered by my special.
Gosh, that's... Okay. So, you really, like, Minish Cap is real competition for this game in your eyes?
Yeah, I like games.
Okay.
I like the playing the video games.
No, I mean, I am somewhat surprised, but then I shouldn't be. But maybe I should? Why? Is it because of the sheer joy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is really lovely, but I just wasn't thinking about it on the same plane is this? Because it feels kind of easy.
Well, I
Don't think that matters,
feel
does
like,
it?
I don't know, appropriate difficulty. I feel like
Yeah.
it has appropriate difficulty.
Okay.
Wow, I really botched that.
I'm sorry that I told you Spider-Man was better than Minish Cap.
You gave me a lot to think about there. And I also, I just, so at the start of that, there's like you can kind of like,
Got them again, my shade.
you can kind of flex on Theseus there
Yeah.
because it's much, I think that the fight is a lot easier because the Minotaur is sort of static. And, the Minotaur is relatively static and Theseus is dynamic because the Minotaur has sort of like empowered attacks as you go through the fight. But Theseus, depending on what god boon he gets whenever his HP gets low, he can be a real problem, right? So I would say that it makes more sense to fight and defeat the Minotaur first before Theseus gets his god boon. But at the start of that fight, I just sort of like subconsciously thought like, I hate Theseus. I'm gonna beat him first. And it wasn't until they were both in their super modes that I was like, what have I done?
Mistake.
Yeah, and focused on the Minotaur. So you noticed that like they were both down to like 30% of their HP for a time. I was keeping them even for a long time. Should not have done that. Huge mistake. Regret it immensely. Let's skip part of Styx, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we should just make it its own episode. I'm going so much slower than I thought I was going to. It's real disappointing for me. Well, that's all. Bye.